Good evening, everyone. It's 5 o'clock. I want to welcome you to tonight's regularly called meeting of the Temple City Council for April 2nd, 2026. Please rise as Deputy City Secretary Liz Caraway leads us in the invocation, followed by our pledge, which will be led by the City Secretary Jan Llewellyn.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and for the opportunity to gather in this place of work and purpose. During this Easter season, I say this prayer before you today, God, with a grateful heart, as I reflect upon this resurrection weekend ahead, a time that reminds me of hope, renewal, and the promise of new life through your Son, Jesus. As the stone was rolled away on that third day and light overcame darkness, I ask you, God, that you bring that same spirit of renewal into our city, our nation, and our world. Lord, lift up this city and all who call it home. Bless our neighborhoods, our families, and every citizen. May we always seek peace, extend kindness, and work together for the good of all. Where there is division, hardship, and uncertainty, God, we lean on you to bring unity, provision, and hope. I pray for our mayor, city council members, and all city leaders. Grant them wisdom, steady judgment, and a servant's heart. Help them to lead with integrity, fairness, and compassion. Also lift up our country and those who lead it. Guide our national leaders with clarity and humility. May they pursue truth, protect freedom, and govern with a deep sense of responsibility. Father God, in a world that is all too often marked by conflict and unrest, Lord, I pray too for leaders around the world that you would guide them toward peace, cooperation, and understanding. Thank you for the hope that was born when Jesus rose, for the promise that life is stronger than death and light is stronger than darkness. And as that promise of hope born from Easter shows us, no situation is beyond redemption. Father, help us carry that hope into every decision made and every action taken. Let that truth shape how we speak, how we listen, and how we lead, both today and in the days ahead. Lord, bless this meeting and the words and actions done here today. In your holy name I pray, with this personal reflection. You, Jesus, are alive. You are with us, and your grace is enough. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we doing the Texas pledge?
Don't know.
New tradition
It's new.
since you left.
Honor the Texas flag.
One state, under God, one and indivisible.
I know, I think it's good too.
All right, next item is public comment. Citizens who wish to address the council on any matter may do so, as long as you signed up prior to this meeting. Public comments will be received during this portion of the meeting. Please limit those comments to 3 minutes. If you would, watch the screens in front of you. And please understand that no discussion or final action will be taken by the city council. Alan, you're on the edge of your seat, so you're first.
Mayor, council, staff, my name is Alan Lytle, in case you don't know me. I live here in Temple. Thank you for the opportunity to come and address you. Before I start, Tuesday, we finished up, I hope, the process of finding a new candidate for our police chief here in Temple. And I just wanted to thank Bryn and her staff. They've done a fantastic job for months to get down to the final four and now to the final decision. And I don't think that's really part of her job description, but she did a fantastic job of doing it, and I really appreciated all the hard work they've put in. Now, what I wanted to ask about tonight, and obviously you can't reply, is item G of the consent agenda. It's the first time I remember ever seeing one quite this expensive. $1.2 million to replace some concrete drainage boxes, but it's from an emergency fund, which means it was not planned in the budget, obviously. And I'm just, curious that we actually had that much money in an emergency fund, and hopefully more than that, in order to accomplish these kind of things. Because I'm also concerned about the information I've been seeing about Midway Drive. I actually had the opportunity last week before last to drive down Midway Drive several times, and quite honestly, it's not that bad. I don't know what the big thing about Midway Drive is. My street's worse than that. Hartrick Bluff is worse than that. Several of the streets in Temple are worse than that. So maybe we should reevaluate doing Midway Drive later and putting some of that money into streets that really do need it. Thank you.
Anybody, while we're here, want to go ahead and address the emergency water line repair?
Yes, I can, Mayor. Just looking at the agenda item or agenda narrative, it is considered an emergency construction contract because of the nature of the CECO. But as far as the dollars that were used to fund that, it is through, in our drainage fund. There was unallocated fund balance that could be applied to that project. And then there were some contingency funds to fund the amount that related to the street part of it. So it's not an emergency fund, but it was funding that could be reprioritized and was available to fund that emergency repair. And due to the health and safety and the nature of it is why we're asking the council to ratify it versus seeking advance approval.
Right.
And just for clarity, it actually isn't the replacement of a water line. What happened is a drainage infrastructure collapsed and was creating a sinkhole in a street.
Okay.
That's the drainage funds that were used to repair it.
Right, makes sense. So your second comment, Alan, where'd you go? About redoing, reprioritizing Midway, you're just trying to start a fight. That's all you're doing. And we're not gonna let you get involved in that, so. But thank you for your comments. Next, we have Sarah Royer.
Hello, I'm Sarah Royer, and I live in 2nd District. I came up here to tell you, last time I was here, going off the website, I said that there's a 70% decrease in, I'm actually wanting to apologize to you, a 70% decrease in transparency for processed, public notices. And it's actually, it wasn't on the website, it had stopped, and that was just a mistake. But it's actually gone up, and I just want that on the record because I know people watch at home and they're not going to see the correction. It's actually a 70% increase, and if there's a stall in, it's over 5,000 now. So, and it used to be 3,500. So, there's a lot more work going on at the city attorney's office, and if there's any kind of issues, it's probably because you guys are overworked. So thank you for all your hard work. Also, I looked over all the sheriffs, the people that you have for police chief, and they're very well qualified. You did a great job. And I will leave data center stuff for later because happy Good Friday, and thank you guys for what you're doing. I see your hard work. Thanks.
Thank you very much. We have, the city has hired extra staff because the request for information every year goes up. So, and they get very detailed, and sometimes those can be hundreds or thousands of pages. So that is a lot of work, and Charlotte's right in the middle of that all the time. So, next up is Joe.
Hello, I'm Joe Royer. I live in District 2. And yeah, first off, I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the work that you do. I know this is a thankless job. And the fact that you guys continue to do it anyway just shows me how much you love this community, and I really appreciate that. I had a second point that I'm not remembering right now. Oh, that was third. But so April 19th to 25th is National Volunteer Appreciation Week, and I looked around on the city websites and I didn't see any sort of events or anything for that. So that's mainly what I'm here for. It's like I would love to see us put together something, some sort of volunteer recognition day, because we have a lot of amazing volunteers and a lot of amazing nonprofits in this town. And I really think we should, celebrate these folks. And a lot of you sitting up here are among those people that we're talking about, these amazing volunteers and nonprofit organizers. So thank you all for everything that you do. And I would love to see, if you guys want to come up with something, or if there's something we can do to help, like I would love to see some sort of volunteer recognition day coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, and thank you for how well you've handled the growth. I just found out a few weeks ago that we're up to 98,000 people in this town, and we didn't see a lot of the growing pains that you would expect from that much growth in that short of a time. So that means somebody's doing a great job.
Yep.
So thank you for that.
So here's a fun fact. It's actually estimated, I think the 98,000 was for the census, but based upon some other information, it's like 103
Wow.
now. So it's,
So-
it's the growth is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. P.A. Connell, the third.
Hello, I guess I'm gonna be a regular here for a while. I'll start with last week. I was told by two different people, they personally assured me that somebody was gonna call me in regards to my 1312 North Third Street address. Never, not a call, not a text, not an email, nothing. So it was expected, but now it's been proven, I
You
don't.
didn't receive a visit from a man with the code enforcement?
No, sir. Not a phone call, not a text, email, a visit. No.
Okay, that's interesting. I was told differently.
Yeah. I work out of town, so they would have to set it up with me which would have been a text, a phone call, or an email
Okay,
before anything.
all right.
So-
I'll follow up on that.
But I've done some research since then. And, looking at Article 5, Section 5.1, the table of what I can and can't do, there's so many things that I can do with my commercial zoning that I wouldn't be able to do if I switched. Like, they almost tricked me into trading my zone for a general retail in trade for my landscaping that I've spent, not that money matters, but plenty of money perfecting it. And it got nitpicked apart to where now, like I said, zoning's off, the rezone's off the table now. We can't do that. But I've noticed that other addresses on the First and Third Street overlay have 6-foot fences, what I want to do. They have that. Wind Supply, KCEN TV. There's other businesses that don't have landscaping on Third Street. Quick Wrench, which is right across the street from me. They've changed owners twice that I know of. So why weren't they made to do it? The car wash right up the road has 3 businesses in one shop. 2 of them I know have started in the last month or so because I go to the tire shop and they weren't there recently. No landscaping. So why am I being forced to do something that I don't have to do? Article 6, Section 6.8, non-residential, interior, exterior maintenance. I did not increase the gross floor area. The general, circulation, privilege, landscape, screening, frontage, none of those. I have to change anything on mine. So why am I being made to change this stuff and add landscaping? And I don't even have to have a fence. I just wanted to, but I can't do that fence. I can do this fence. I was told I could do the 6-foot fence if I did this. It's like quid pro quo, and it shouldn't be like that. If someone can do it, why can't I do it? I mean, if the guy across the street from me has a 6-foot fence, why can't I have a 6-foot fence? If the guy on the other street doesn't have landscaping, why do I have to have landscaping? I mean, I get nothing. And I've called whoever took Tiffany's position, I've called twice and left voicemails. I've emailed, nothing in return. I see Joseph back here. He was very helpful until I said I wasn't going to rezone anymore. And then I haven't reached out to him because I was hoping that me coming here was going to get some sort of an answer. But nobody knows anything. And neither do I. I mean, because whoever I talk to, I get a different answer. I just need to know who to talk to. And I mean, I want to open a coffee shop. But all these other things that I can do are in line with what I already do. Trailer rental, trailer storage, machine sales. I can do all of that by right. It's on the table. I don't want to do that. I don't think the historic district wants to see skid steers and trailers for sale and for rent. I don't want to do it, but I also don't want to sit here and hold a property that I can't make money off of. It's costing me a lot to not do anything with it. So,
Okay, very good. I'll get to the bottom of all that, and,
you said that last
well, I
time.
know, and I expected that would have gotten done, and it didn't get done in the manner that I thought that it would. So, I'll take more control of that.
And I have a flash drive, but I didn't turn it in time, so I'll bring those pictures at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. CJ Grisham?
Welcome to the tyranny of simple code enforcement. All right, CJ Grisham. So, we're being bamboozled by this water project, this data center. So I filed an open records request, and I'm glad that somebody was talking about open records requests, because there's a reason, probably, that the city doesn't want us to know what's going on, because I bet you there's a lot of nefarious stuff. But I don't understand why the city hates openness so much. My specific request was for all contracts or contemplated contracts, and I understand that contemplated contracts are likely subject to exception, but not contracts. And I asked for contracts between this city and the data center. What did I get? Nothing. I asked for copies of all contracts related to the data center project near Synergy Park. What did I get? Nothing. Those are public records. Why? Because it's very clear. 552-0222, disclosure of contracted information. Contracted information is public and must be released unless accepted from disclosure. Then I get a letter from Langen saying, oh, Mr. Grisham, we're going to help the city hide from you the disaster that we're going to be in this city when we put this data center up and we steal all your water. And we're going to claim 552-110 as trade secrets. What are they saying as trade secrets? They're saying that their pricing is trade secrets, but it says here that the exceptions, and again, 552-0222, to disclosure provided by the section that Langen is quoting, does not apply to any term describing the overall or total price the government body will or could potentially pay, all kinds of other things about duration, identity of subcontractors, identity of the parties, none of that stuff. You guys provided me with nothing. They're providing me with nothing. Y'all should know, if you had a competent city attorney, that you can exempt the stuff that's exempted, but you are required within 10 days to give me what's not exempted. And what have I gotten? Zero. Zero. In violation of the Open Records Act. Everyone that came in here, not a single person testified for that data center. I asked for copies of impact studies regarding analysis of water usage, traffic impacts, environmental impacts, generator operations, noise, and stormwater mitigation. Guess what I got? Nothing. I got a letter from Langen saying, hey, we need to hide how much we're charging, or how much we're getting, or how much it's going to cost. That's what I got, was a letter that's quoting a law that doesn't apply to what I'm asking for. Why is the city hiding this stuff? Why doesn't the city care that none of us want this thing here yet until we have all of these studies? And those things are, so either they don't exist and the city is incompetent and negligent by not doing these studies, or they do exist and you're violating the Open Records Act because I haven't gotten anything at all. I understand that you can't give me copies of emails between members of the city council and the data center. Those are likely protected if there's ongoing stuff. But this idea about it's a trade secret, how much it costs. If there's a contract, we have a right to know under 552-0222 how much the city is going to pay or, oh, I'm sorry, my time's up. I'm done. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Mayor, council. Mr. Grisham is correct that executed agreements are releasable, and I'm having difficulties pulling up our actual next request to find a specific request, but if those have not been released, those will be released. However, he made a very voluminous request that was subject to several exceptions. One of the requirements in the act is if a third party's interests are implicated, we give them the right to submit comments to the Attorney General, raising those exceptions.
And in this case, who would those third parties be?
I cannot say with certainty who those were specifically.
But if others are involved,
If other companies or third parties are involved, and we have their information and reasonably believe that it may implicate any of their rights, we are required to send them a notice under the Texas Government Code. They are permitted to submit their own comments as to why they want that information withheld. And then the Attorney General will rule if the city has their own objections on the city's objections, but also on those third parties' objections if any are raised. I do not believe we've gotten any communication from the Attorney General's office on this request at this time.
so whenever those requests are made and those third parties are involved and you have to go to the Attorney General and ask for their interpretation, does that give an extension to the 10 days?
It's actually not a 10-day requirement. The 10-day requirement in the law is you have 10 days to raise your initial exceptions to the Attorney General, and then 15 days to submit your letter with the actual attachments to the Attorney General. The law actually requires that you produce promptly. It does not define promptly as 10 days. The 10 days is specifically to the requirement for submitting an argument to the Attorney General for withholding records. So in the let's just say the event that a record was not being sought to be withheld, the 10 business day deadline does not necessarily apply. It just requires that the governmental body produce the records promptly.
So even before going to the Attorney General, that could be 25 days.
Yes, it depends on the size of the request, among other things, and we're required to take the requests in the order that they're received. We can't give preferential treatment to certain requests or certain requesters.